Crvena zvezda, Partizan and Buducnost remain undefeated. j.t.d grabbed its first win in a clash of Macedonian rivals. Upset of the round took place in Zagreb, where Krka defeated Cedevita. And finally, we wrapped the show up with the top 5 plays of the 6th round. Welcome to ABBA magazine. Cedevita's new acquisition arrives from MBDL. Point guard Pierre Jackson, who had some previous experience in Europe with Asvel and Fenerbahce. Dusan Kutlušić has joined the ranks of FNP. He spent the previous season in Metalac Valjevo, where he averaged 10 points per game. The club signed him to a 3-year contract, hoping to improve the backcourt. Karpos Sokoli has found a worthy replacement for Lamont Mack, the 25-year-old Ryan Richards. The 211 cm tall UK player is quite the globetrotter, and his previous stop was Al Ahly in Bahrain. The other club from Skopje also brought in reinforcements. Member of Team Great Britain at the London Olympics in 2012, Daniel Clark has joined j.t.d and will replace Jeremiah Messi, whose contract has been terminated. Mega Leks sent Stefan Simic to Smederevo on a loan. Simic appeared in 14 ABBA League games the previous season, but spent only 1 minute on the court in the current one. He will get some seasoning in the Serbian National Championship. Crvena zvezda has signed Nate Walters. The American point guard played college basketball for South Dakota State University, and he has had NBA experience playing for Denver, Milwaukee, and New Orleans. He spent the previous season with Besiktas, where he averaged 15 points per game in Eurocup. The reigning champions signed him until the end of the season. Crvena zvezda had a tough task to remain undefeated in the 6th round of ABBA League, as Igokea came very close to repeating the last year's miracle upset in Aleksandar Nikolić Hall. This time around, the defending champions secured a 68-66 win from the free throw line. First half lacked for excitement, as the confident home team completely neutralized James Robinson. Igokea's top player did finish the game with 10 points, but shot 2 out of 13 from the field. Visitors didn't start the game in the right way and allowed 17 points in first 7 minutes, while scoring only 3. At the very end of the second period, Igokea got within 5, but a bucket from Dangubic and a half-court buzzer beater from Jenkins restored the double-digit lead for the home team. Physically and mentally drained after a tough-fought EuroLeague win over Galatasaray in Istanbul, Serbian champion couldn't score for an entire 6.5 minutes of the third quarter. Champion of Bosnia and Herzegovina went on a 17-4 run and grabbed its first lead with a minute left in the third. Crvena zvezda scored only 7 points in the third period, while the visiting team rode on the 3-point shooting prowess of Danilo Šibalić. In a hard-fought final period, Crvena zvezda grabbed a 4-point lead through offensive rebounds and a calm and collected Gudurić and Bjelica. With 4 seconds left on the clock and the game on the line, Igokea couldn't come up with a good look, losing back-to-back games on the final play. In the third loss so far this season, Šibalić stood out with 5 3-pointers for the game-high 27 points. Milko Bjelica shined for the home team with a double-double, 15 points and 10 rebounds. Marko Gudurić also scored in double digits with 10. The derby of Montenegro was played in Morača Hall in front of 2,500 fans. Buducnost defeated Mornar 85-68 and kept its unbeaten streak alive, even though the team couldn't count on the injured Sead Šehović and Nemanja Gordić. Mornar started off well and were up to par until the very last minute of the second quarter, when the home team scored 7 unanswered points to take the lead 50-42 at the end of the first half. Buducnost would showcase its best defensive minutes this season in the second half, holding Mornar to only 9 points, leading by as many as 19 points in the third period. The team from Bar posed no threat in the final period, which ended in their 4th defeat this season. On the other hand, Buducnost is a perfect 6 for 6. The team from Podgorica is now more than ready to take on the undefeated Partizan in Belgrade. Buducnost is one of the best 3-point shooting teams this season, but their sharp shooting skills disappeared after the first quarter. Sead Šehović played another excellent game with 24 points, 3 3-pointers, and only 3 missed field goals. Petar Popović chipped in with 18 points, once again outplaying Marcus Williams. Back from injury, Sean James scored 10 points and added 9 rebounds. Mornar's defeat could be contributed to the whopping 22 turnovers. Momo Jones led the team with 13 points, while Krstić, Dickerson and Mijovic finished the game with 10 points apiece. Mornar is looking at another tall task in the next round, as it will host Crvena zvezda in Bar. Partizan kept a winning streak in ABA League alive, beating FNP 65-56 in the away game played in Železnik. These two teams met in the semi-finals of the Serbian National Championship last season, and much to that script, we saw another hard-fought game with modest shooting percentages. Most likely affected by the fact that the game started at noon. It was an up-and-down first half. The black and whites led in the first period, while the home team held the advantage throughout the second. Coach Aleksandar Džekic's team committed 11 turnovers in the first 20 minutes, allowing Slobodan Klipa's team to take a 1-point lead at the half. The decisive moment took place in the third quarter. Home team held its last lead with the points scored by Lazarević, followed by a 16-0 run by the visitors. Hatcher was once again Partizan's most valuable player. American point guard scored 9 out of his 20 points during the decisive run. With Uroš Luković protecting the rim, FNP couldn't score from the field for full 8 minutes. Visiting team held the game-high lead 55-38 at the beginning of the final period. But the game wasn't over yet. Partizan's mistakes allowed FNP to get back in the game with 13 unanswered points. As it turns out, the home team's final push was repelled by Hatcher and Partizan's captain Novica Veličković, who finished the game with 15 points and 6 rebounds. Partizan remained undefeated in ABA League despite committing 18 turnovers and shooting below 40% from the field, way above FNP's 27% rate. In the team's third consecutive and fourth loss overall, only Filip Covic scored in double digits with 10 points. Next on the FNP's schedule is a matchup with Cibona in Zagreb, a tough place to end a losing streak. While Partizan will host Buducnost in a duel of undefeated teams in Belgrade's Ranko Žeravica Hall. Two-time ABA League champion FNP is back after 6 years, once again led by the veteran point guard Filip Covic. For ABBA magazine, Filip revealed his first impressions about the new and improved regional competition. In my first run-in with ABBA League, I would say the competition was tougher. Not by much, but at least by a thread. After 3 years in the Serbian Championship, I'm trying to adapt to this level of competition. It's much more demanding. I'm especially glad that FNP is back in the regional competition. It means a lot to me personally, as I was with the team during those first days in ABBA League and stood by the team when it left the regional competition. It's very important, and I'm very glad that this very young team is once again a part of ABBA League. He led the Serbian League in assists and finds himself among the top assistants in the ABBA League as well. It's my job, something I've been doing all my life. I've always felt more joy setting up someone else to score than scoring myself. How does he handle the pressure and burden carried as a team leader? It's been like that forever, and I'm trying to carry that burden the best I can. Trying to put in a 100% effort every time, and I think I'm doing a good job of it. I got used to it as the years went by. It was tough in the beginning, but I'm used to it now. How about his relationship with his younger teammates? Word of advice whenever I can, in practice and off the court as well, during the games as well. I'm trying to help them as much as I can. Is he satisfied with the way team is growing? We are improving every day through practices. I get to see them every day, and I've seen how much they've grown, besides just being a very talented group of players. It's a good thing this team has been together for the past 2 years, and we can improve and grow as a unit, not only individually, but as a group as well. Now we're playing in a higher level of competition as well, and it will only help their development as players. What about his personal plans for the future? I'm not wasting time thinking too far ahead. For now, I'm here, doing my best to help the team, improve my game, and I hope for a good season. I'm glad FNP is back in ABBA League. It means a lot to me personally. It means even more to this young team. Has he ever considered coaching? I've thought about that. I've even discussed it with my family as well. But honestly, I'm still young. Only 27, and I'm not done playing. That's what I'm focused on now. I can still play. I enjoy practices, and I still think as a basketball player.
Sandi Čebular, rotirao je Babić, kakav pokušaj Arapovića, lopta dolazi do Čebulara, pogađa Čebular!
The upset of the round took place in Zagreb as Krka put an end to Cedevita's 3-game winning streak in an unbelievable finish. Lack of focus was evident on both sides, but eventually Cedevita took advantage of the 2 missed layups by the visiting team and converted 2 3-pointers to grab a 9-point lead. Down by as much as 11, Krka managed to cut the deficit down to 8 at the end of the first quarter. With the coming of the early lead, the hustle went away for the home team, and Krka took advantage with an 8-0 run in the second period. Cedevita did get a grip on defense and was able to hold on to a 6-point lead at the half. In the first 20 minutes, we saw 10 turnovers per team, low shooting percentages on both sides, with Krka going 1 for 9 from the 3-point line. In the second half, Cedevita twice had a chance to close out the game, but Krka simply wouldn't go away. With a 3-point from Matic Rebec, the team from Novo Mesto ended the third quarter down only 64-63. In the fourth period, Cedevita held to a 4-point lead, but thanks to great determination and energy of Ron Curry, Krka again had a chance to equalize. With 3 minutes remaining on the clock, the power went out in Dom Sportova due to bad wiring. However, even a 15-minute break in action didn't stop the visiting team's momentum as they leveled the score through Lukovic. Cebular's three-pointer gave Krka the first lead of the game at 80-79, but Luka Babic answered to give Cedevita an 82-80 lead. However, he missed a free throw and a chance to give his team a three-point lead. On the other end, Dimec would miss a free throw that would tie the game. All that Cedevita had to do was run the clock out after an inbounds pass, but after a terrible mistake by Arapovic, Lukovic put the ball in between Arapovic's legs to the waiting arms of Cebular, who laid it in with 0.6 of a second left to play. Last attempt was made by Bilan, who missed a difficult shot for the win. Lukovic led Krka to an 83-82 victory with 20 points. Dimec scored 17 in a heroic effort to avoid fouling out in the fourth quarter. Carlos Ganec did foul out, but still managed to lead the defeated side with 15 points. Bilan added another 14, while Pierre Jackson made his debut with 9 points in 14 minutes of playing time. Ivan Marinkovic's buzzer beater brought Zadar its third win this season in a tough matchup with Mega Leks. Ivan Vraneš made his debut for the home team that raced to an early 13-5 lead. Dejan Milojevic called a timeout to regroup his Mega Leks squad, that answered with buckets from Simeunovic and Tej. Mega was still in the game at the halftime despite receiving only 2 points from the top scorer this season, Rade Zagorac. The visiting team cut off Marinkovic in the third period and found some open looks for Zagorac, who got his offense going again. Jaramaz was held scoreless, but somehow Mega still found a way to go up by 1 at the end of the third quarter. Krešimir Ćosić-Hall already played witness to 2 dramatic games against FNP and MZT. With the help of Vraneš, Ivan Ramljak led a comeback by Zadar, despite playing the entire fourth quarter with 4 fouls. Taking advantage of turnovers and grabbing offensive rebounds, Ramljak gave Zadar the lead. Mega had 2 opportunities to win the game, but both Zagorac and Muširi missed the game-winning 3-pointers. Marinkovic led all scorers with 28 points, while Ramljak added 15 with 7 rebounds and 5 assists, and Ivan Vraneš scored 19 points with 9 rebounds for the winners. Marko Tej put in his best performance for Mega Leks this season with 24 points. Zagorac added 20, but it was not enough for the second triumph this season. Zadar's record, on the other hand, now sits at even 3-3. A historic first clash of Macedonian teams in the regional competition ended with an MZT win over Karpos Sokoli 74-71 in Janez Sandanski Hall. 2 Britons made their debuts in this matchup, Daniel Clark for MZT and Ryan Richards for the visiting team. Karpos erupted on offense in the first quarter and, led by Kendrick Perry, scored 25 points. MZT struggled offensively and scored only 8 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. Alexander Jančevski's men improved on defense in the second quarter, when they conceded only 6 points, and with Clough leading the way, cut the deficit to 7, with the scoreboard reading 31-24. Daniel Clark highlighted the third period with 8 points to bring his team within 4 at the end of the third quarter. Karpos went on a scoring run in the final period and held the lead thanks to a 3-pointer from Mavra, but Macedonian champion responded and raced to an 8-point lead 4 minutes before the final bell. It looked like the MZT will close it out in style, but the visitors managed to force a free throw battle in the closing minute. Zoran Vrkic would go from 0 to hero in the final seconds as he found himself all alone in the paint, but the ball slipped, leaving Karpos as the only winless team so far this season. Charlon Clough led MZT to its first victory with 14 points and 8 rebounds, but injured his knee 5 minutes before the end, while Sinovec added 13. Karpos Sokoli's point guard Kendrick Perry led the team with 22 points and 6 assists. On the day when the late legendary Dražen Petrovic was born 52 years ago, Cibona defeated Olimpija 89-72 in Ljubljana. Both teams were struck by injuries, grueling schedules and defeats in the European competitions. Their disadvantage in the form of shortened rotations had lesser influence on the Croatian team. Cibona would grab the 5th victory in the regional competition with suffocating defense and the powerful offensive Šakić-Žižić duo in the front court. An expected battle in the paint occurred in the first period between Žižić and Janković. Even though both teams put together only one three-pointer, it was a surprisingly high-scoring affair. The first quarter went in favor of Cibona, 25-20. It was still a game at the end of the first half, with Cibona up by only 7. The game was settled at the beginning of the third quarter when Marin Rozic took advantage of Olimpija's defensive lapse and brought the visitors a compelling lead with 3 consecutive three-pointers. Cibona kept its lead during the final quarter with solid performance from Elijah Johnson. Željko Šakić was once again the most notable player in the team from Zagreb with 20 points and 7 rebounds and assists. Ante Žižić added a double-double with 18 points and 10 rebounds. As for Olimpija, the only player in the mood for the game was Blaž Mesićek, who scored 19 points. Milošević woke up in the second half and added 12 points with only 1 missed field goal. Cibona completely neutralized 2 of Olimpija's top scorers. Janković was held to 8 points, 8 of which came in the first quarter, while Jefferson added 4 points from the free throw line. His lone attempt from the field was blocked by Žižić. With this kind of effort, the team from Slovenia couldn't avoid the most convincing defeat this season, their 4th in the 5 games played this season. Željko Šakić is the MVP for the 2nd week in a row. Cibona's power forward led his team to victory over Olimpija with 20 points, 7 rebounds and 7 assists, which was enough for 33 index value points. Thanks to his powerful performance this season, Cibona has 5 wins after 6 rounds of ABA League. We kick off our top 5 plays list in Zadar with the alley-oop combo of Vraneš and Marinković. Igokea tormented the defending champion in Belgrade with plays like this one. Draško Albijanić with a nice finish on the fast break. At number 3 sits Shalon Klov, firing the afterburners and soaring over Karpos defenders. Mornar's big man Octavius Ellis made himself a home on our list. He's back with another monstrous dunk. The top play of the round title goes to Charles Jenkins with an amazing buzzer beater in Crvena zvezda's matchup with Igokea. That would be all for this week's edition of ABBA Magazine, but we will be back in 7 days to review the 7th round, so stay tuned.